Welcome back. This is episode number 20 of ECW CyberSlam, and we begin with a video package looking back at CM Punk's victory over Steve Corino on last week's show. After Punk won, Paul Heyman was seen watching in his office as CM Punk was handed the television championship. Heyman told his right-hand man to bring Punk to him because they needed to talk. Going out of that, we get a really good promo from CM Punk, superb working without a script, as he was shown arriving at the building earlier today. Punk was asked about his meeting with Paul Heyman at the end of last week's show, and he explained that it was just Paul Heyman doing what Paul Heyman does, trying to feed him his Kool-Aid and get him under his spell. But the fact is, CM Punk wasn't buying it, and that's the end of the story. We then go into an in-ring segment, Paul Heyman making his entrance. He is joined by his personal security team, who I should have put on screen, but I forgot. They each hold one of the ECW World Tag Team titles. Heyman said that it was time to address the tag team division, and he brought out Danny Doring and Roadkill. Doring said that it was about time and asked that the titles be handed back to the rightful owners, the last ECW World Tag Team Champions from back in 2001. Heyman said it wouldn't be that simple, despite him agreeing that they do have a claim to the titles. Paul said that times change and what it means to be an ECW competitor has changed too. They need to prove that they're still worthy of holding the ECW World Tag Team titles. Roadkill was more than up for the challenge, but Doring demanded to know more. Heyman said that it was simple. They'd go into a tag team title match next week in what they're free to consider their first defense of the new titles. Heyman then abruptly left the ring, leaving Doring and Roadkill confused. The personal security team also left with him. All soon became clear as a man jumped onto the apron. In this distraction, another man entered the ring from behind and threw Doring to the outside. Roadkill then turned round, having heard the commotion, only for the first man to enter the ring. Roadkill was then dropped with a total elimination, Joey Styles recognising the two men as Ricky Reyes and Rocky Romero, the Havana Pitbulls. So the Pitbulls debuting there, both getting an average rating. Not great, but I'm not too bothered. We set up the tag team titles match for next week, Danny Doring and Roadkill against the newcomers Ricky Reyes and Rocky Romero. It was a 30 E+ rated segment, not very good, and with Roadkill down, it is noted that he was actually scheduled to be in the opening match of the night against Kevin Fertig. Fertig walks down to the ring with a sadistic, sinister look on his face, the commentator putting over that Roadkill stands no chance in the upcoming match. That was the case, as in under 3 minutes, a one-sided squash match, Roadkill barely even able to get back up to his feet, Kevin Fertig winning with a chokeslam. Again, not too good of a performance from Kevin Fertig, but I think he is getting better. Roadkill with a 39, and the storyline, who will stop Kevin Fertig, advancing with this segment. Shelly Martinez, as always, doing good work at ringside, and the good chemistry between them is really good to see. Fertig once again standing tall with Shelly Martinez. It's put over that since coming to ECW, Kevin Fertig has been completely unstoppable, and as of this moment, that doesn't look like something that's going to change soon. We then get an interview with Rob Van Dam in the back as he promotes his main event match with Trent Acid. He puts over the youngster and talks about the last time they shared a ring together back in the early weeks of ECW CyberSlam. Since then, Acid has improved and impressed him every time that he stepped in the ring. Despite that, the ECW World Champion still has a lot he can teach the youngster, and he'll do exactly that in the main event, a 63, so that's going to be good for the end rating again. We've had the CM Punk promo and the RVD promo so far. We then go into a not so good rated segment. Unfortunately, I did think that this would do better. Tommy Dreamer comes down to the ring, clearly unscheduled. He takes a microphone and he's demanding to be able to speak. He calls out his treatment at the hands of Paul Heyman's security team last week. He says that they are nothing to do with protecting anybody, they are just violent thugs. He says that he can take a lot of punishment, but he's sick of that traitor Paul Heyman hiding behind them, especially when he dares to suggest that their issues are over. Dreamer says that there's only one way that their issues will ever end, and he can't believe he's saying it, but it's with Paul Heyman out of ECW. Heyman turned on the men and women who made him what he is today, and for that reason, the man who created ECW has to be removed. Dreamer's rant was eventually cut off, with members of that security team coming down to take him out. When Dreamer resisted, the group laid into him, brutally beating him up in the ring. Brent Albright and Balls Mahoney ran down to help him, but it was too late, the damage was done. The commentators put over Tommy Dreamer's love of ECW, the fact that he would die for the company, and how much the return meant to him. He's putting himself through a hell of a lot of punishment to stand up for what he believes in. We then go into the second match of the night after that is cleared up. Homicide squashing a local talent by the name of Corey Castle with a gringo cutter. The fans were not impressed with the local talent, but he wasn't out there for very long, so I don't know how they made that decision. He got a 19, Homicide a 51. Not a very good match. Homicide hasn't really had too many matches. We just need to keep getting him over, and a dominant victory will do just that. After the match, Homicide, Loki, Soniseki and Xavier stood tall in the ring, the Hustle holding up their signature hand gesture, making it clear that they're so much more dangerous when they're all on the same page, and at the moment, it appears that they are. We then get a promo from Paul Heyman, the third good promo on the night. He gives an update on the debut of Rocky Romero and Ricky Reyes earlier in the night. He says that Havana Pitbulls are a great addition to the tag team division and he can't wait to see them challenge for the World Tag Team Championships. Commenting on how they chose to introduce themselves, he said that had nothing to do with him, but he admitted that they'd made an impact. He couldn't wait to see how they'd do next week with the ECW World Tag Team Championships on the line. That has done a lot for that storyline because of course it started with a really poor segment, but a Paul Heyman promo is pretty much gold dust to any storyline he's involved in. We then get a segment from Out on Location. Jade, the new interviewer, was seen earlier this week continuing her search for Al Snow. She doorstepped the missing ECW competitor but got nothing. She added that nobody had heard for Al for weeks and weeks now, but she'd continue to investigate the story until she got answers. We then go into the main event, a 58 C- rating. That could have been a lot worse given that Trent Acid isn't very over. He got a 39, which isn't brilliant, but Rob Van Dam can carry most people to a good match. Trent Acid, unfortunately off his game, considering that he was given the chance to have a 13-minute match with Rob Van Dam. It was designed to make him look good. He didn't come out of it looking great, which is unfortunate, but Rob Van Dam picks up another victory on the road to Heatwave 2006. After the match, as Rob Van Dam celebrates, the commentators hear of an incident in the back, showing footage of a heated argument between Sabu and CM Punk. Sabu is accusing ECW Television Champion CM Punk of speaking with Paul Heyman. Punk didn't deny it, but was quickly on the defensive. Sabu said he saw him coming out of the office, and he knows something's going on. Punk had heard enough, and went nose to nose with Sabu. The two began brawling in the back, being pulled apart by those around them. They're shouting at each other, giving each other abuse. They are still trying to get each other as we cut away from it. CM Punk is absolutely furious to have his integrity questioned by Sabu, especially after the chances he had to join the Hustle, and the fact that he has helped the originals week after week. Cutting away from that, we get a video package which shows a new ECW logo and footage of some of the best action from ECW's first 5 months since returning. The clips include footage of the Hustle, Rob Van Dam, Brent Albright and CM Punk, and promoted a huge show coming next week, Paul Heyman providing a voiceover for the clip. Next week on ECW CyberSlam, the World Tag Team Champions are crowned. Danny Doring Roadkill feed the Havana Pitbulls, and CM Punk defends his television championship against Brent Albright. Rob Van Dam will also find out the challenger for his ECW World Championship at Heatwave 2006. The video package then ends abruptly, the ECW logo once again appearing on the screen, Paul Heyman speaking one last time, asking, "Are you ready for the new ECW?" So a 65 rating, a very, very good episode, one of the best episodes we've done, again increasing our popularity in 45 regions. This has been a really successful run of shows. We're really starting to build up some momentum, some consistency in the shows, and that's why it's a perfect time to debut the new ECW next week. Of course, Paul Heyman has been talking about this for months now, but there's going to be a rebrand and a new look from next week's show, and we're looking to kick off that new era with what I believe can be our best episode yet.